What's up? What's up? We are here with the professor, and we are looking at NBA and NFL free agency. So we're going to get the best insight from the best in the business, the professor of sports, the professor of nothing, really. But there we go. What's up, professor? How are you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah.
How's all the
So,
peeps in the chat doing?
oh man, I don't know. We'd have to ask them. How are the P's in the chat doing? Looks like they're doing wonderful, fantastic. They're out seeing Dune, apparently. This guy, he has
Oh,
to go watch Oppenheimer and Dune back to back, the two longest movies in the history of movies.
well,
But,
technically, I saw Dune at my house. Not Dune. Oppenheimer on. I saw it on Peacock.
oh, really? Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
it
it was
just
on.
became a.
It was on Peacock.
But after you see Oppenheimer, you have to take a little break from movies after a while, I think. It's
Nah.
just that movie is so long. It's ridiculous. What did you like it? What was your rating? Which one was better?
Uh, uh, Probably Dune. Well, I probably like Dune more. Oppenheimer is like there's not that much action.
Yeah, that's one you really got to think about, but both you really have to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you plan on going to the movies back pretty soon? Probably not. Give that a break.
Uh, yeah. Probably the next one I watch is probably like that Godzilla movie.
Mm. Yeah, that movie sounds pretty gay. I bet you'll go see that.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of that, free agency has come into play. Have you been keeping up with that?
I have been keeping up with it.
And what are you thinking, my friend? I mean, so many moves. I mean, let's start at the bottom. Should we just start with today's plays and really kind of get that out of the way? So what happened
Yeah.
today? We had Calvin Ridley, right? What do you think about that?
Well, he went to the Jaguars. No, he went to the Titans.
Yeah,
Well, they
yeah,
had a. Well, they're trying to give Levis some weapons because they signed Tony Brown the other day, and
yeah.
and now they have Ridley, and they already have Hopkins, and then they have
And
a brand new head coach.
we're looking at they picked up Kenneth Murray from the Chargers, right? So he's a linebacker from the Chargers, 25 years old, 2 years, 18 million. So not much of a game changer, but something looks like they're building at the Titans, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So we'll see what comes of that. But what do you think
yeah,
about Derek Henry going over to the freaking
to the
where did?
Ravens.
Yeah, he went to the Ravens. That's an interesting play.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one because you got Lamar who's fast, and then you got Derrick Henry who's just gonna run it down the middle, because they always have these small running backs.
Yeah, exactly.
This, yeah, because they had that one Ohio State running back, but he's always hurt.
Or who's the best running back in the league right now, in your opinion?
It's probably it's probably McCaffrey.
And it's amazing. What did he get traded for? Like a second and a fourth or something?
It was
Second
like a
and a fifth?
second, third, fourth. It was like 4 picks.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was two picks, but regardless, he didn't. And then the Panthers, they go and trade their best defensive end and their best linebacker. It's what is if you're Bryce Young, you have to be thinking, what did I just get into, right?
Well, they traded McCaffrey for a bunch of picks, and then they traded. Remember when they traded up for Bryce Young? They traded
Yeah,
the DJ Moore, and then it's
yeah,
basically DJ Moore and Caleb for Bryce
yeah,
Young,
exactly.
and then they
Yeah.
traded Brian Burns for like a sec. It's they're trading all their best players, and they're like getting like okay picks. Yeah,
I don't even know if they're okay picks, It's pretty
well,
bad. It's
because I remember it was like last year, 2 years ago. They were
yeah.
saying like the Rams offered like 2 first-round picks for Brian Burns.
Yeah, and it seems like he's kind of worth it if you're looking at it. I mean, but you do have Chase Young on the market, right?
Yeah, but he didn't do that well.
Yeah, who knows how good he's going to end up being? Is he like a Davian Clowney who's going to kind of like flourish in his later years, or do you think Chase Young is overrated?
He'll probably be like Javion Clowney, where he was like a super high pick and like super like highly rated, but just never really. He'll probably play like 10 years in the league, but never like be an all pro. You know,
Yeah, probably. I mean, you never
just
know. I think if you make it into the league, you're going to show what you're worth pretty quickly, right? And when it comes to defensive ends,
yeah,
or do you
he'll
think?
just be like a. I think he's just gonna be like a rotational guy. You know.
Yeah, like some of the positions that you can grow into is probably running back, uh, maybe quarterback, not
Receiver.
yeah, receiver, but cornerback and defensive end. I think you just either have it or you don't, and you start to decline pretty quickly. But yeah, running backs are a dime a dozen right now. I mean, is Saquon Barkley, is Derrick Henry, are all these running backs, for real? Or do you think someone like Zach Moss is just as good?
Well, Derrick Henry, he's 30 something. He's got all those miles, so I could see why the Titans got rid of him, and then the Eagles getting freaking Barkley. That one's kind of interesting because the Eagles usually don't pay running backs, but
Well, no,
I guess that
nobody.
makes I guess that yeah, but I guess it makes sense. They wanna take some of the load off Jalen Hurts, so he's not always hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so it's interesting because you got the speed in Baltimore with Lamar and Derek, and then you got the brute and the force with Saquon and Jalen.
Jalen,
But yeah, so that's just brute force. It's really crazy. Uh, I don't know if either of these teams really. Do you think they made a statement for themselves? Do you think they took it to the next level? Because the Ravens did lose Patrick Queen, so the middle linebacker. So who
yeah, to
knows
the
if that?
Steelers.
Yeah, exactly. And the Steelers. Speaking of the Steelers, we got some big moves. They picked up Queen and the Hobbit, right?
Yeah, they got Russell Wilson, and then they traded one of the receivers yesterday.
Who did they trade?
What's his name? Dante Johnson.
Oh, really? Was he good? I mean, what do you think about him? I mean, give me your
He's
take.
he was he's like a solid receiver, but for some reason the Steelers they know how to draft freaking wide receivers. So
That's
they don't
true.
know how to draft quarterbacks, but wide receivers they know that's like their specialty.
I don't know. They do have a couple Hall of Fame quarterbacks in there, you know, and they did take and Neil O'Donnell took them to the Super Bowl, right? So Neil
Yeah,
O'Donnell
but
took them to the Super Bowl
but
and
recently,
recently. So yeah, no, they definitely have better luck with wide receivers, that's for sure, and tight ends, right?
yeah, and like defensive ends or just defense in general, and like wide receivers.
Exactly. What is your what is your take on the Eagles? Is this going to take them to the next level? Do you think that's something that having Saquon over there is just going to solve all their problems? They do have the coach. Maybe the system can get organized again, and they can fall in fall in line with the new head coach. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, they got to run the ball more. They get too pass happy. If they
Yeah,
run
that's
the ball, they'll be fine. But they get a little too pass happy and just run the ball, dude. You guys have the defense.
what was it me and Chang were trying to figure out? How many games did they lose in a row last week? I still haven't I haven't figured that out yet. What did they
Well, they
do?
lost. They lost to the Niners, then they lost to I think it was the Seahawks, and then like the Cowboys. I think there was like
But
three, and then they might have won one, and then they lost like another two or three.
it was something unprecedented. I don't want to go down it if you don't know, but it wasn't it like 6 or 7 games in a row.
I don't think it was 6 or 7 in a row, but it was like 6 out of 7 or something like that. You know?
Something
The-
ridiculous, right?
yeah, where they got like a lucky win in
Yeah,
against the Giants, and then they ended up like I think they ended up beating Tyrod Taylor in the one game, but yeah, they were just they just fell apart.
yeah, and then they got busted by the Bucks in the first round, so that's no bueno. That's got to be a big big sign of I don't know. Are they going to blow it up? Isn't Kevin Byard on the free agent market too?
I think he signed with the Bears or the Vikings, one of those NFC North teams
Interesting. So Bobby Wagner also he signed today. Who did he sign with?
with the Redskins. It was like a 1 year deal.
Interesting. That guy's freaking old, isn't he? He is
Yeah, but
33.
yeah, but he's their head coach is the was the DC when they had the Legion of Boom.
Okay, gotcha. And DeAndre Swift to the Bears. What do you think about that? Anything important? Anything you think consequential
Nah,
about that? No,
not
because they picked up
really.
Saquon. Does the Bears really become better? He's 25, but he's a running back. He
Yeah,
can catch.
yeah,
He's more of a receiving running back, isn't he?
yeah.
What do you think about Justin Fields? Where does he end up?
Great dude. You know, that guy, he's gonna get traded for like a sandwich or something.
Yeah, it's coming down to it. I mean, how many weeks till we have the draft?
A month, because like if he was gonna go somewhere, he would have gone to the Raiders because the Raiders they hired the Bears OC, and the Raiders
That's
right
right.
away were like, "Nah, we'd rather have Minshew
Wow, that's crazy.
because he's not going to the Raiders, he's not going to
Yeah,
the Falcons, he's not going to the Steelers. Who's left that
yeah,
needs a quarterback? The Broncos.
I guess so. I mean, he's got to go somewhere, right?
He might go somewhere as a backup.
Oof. I mean, he didn't do bad. It'd be really sad if he went anywhere. Do you expect Odell Beckham Jr. to stay with the Ravens? I don't think so. I think he'll move, right? Isn't that what he does?
No,
He's a high
yeah,
gun. Yeah,
yeah, he's not saying because think like Mac Jones went for a 6 round pick. I think Mac Jones has played better than Justin Fields, and you telling me you can't get rid of him for like a 7th round pick
yeah,
or a
yeah.
sixth?
What do you think about Danico Autry going to the Texans? It looks like the Texans picked up a couple of pieces. I'd give them like a B on all their free agency moves. What do you think about the
They also
Texans?
yeah because they also signed the Vikings defensive end Daniel Hunter. They gave him like a 2 year like 49 $50 million deal.
Yep, yep. And you think that that's gonna? They picked up someone else too that I can't remember. But they did get another good pickup. I think it was like a defensive lineman or something. But
Yeah,
regardless, the
there's
Texans just need to build off, get someone in there that's going to have some experience, right?
yeah because they got the young quarterback, so he's cheap, so they're gonna build around him. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we were looking at the division yesterday, and Trevor Lawrence is the old man of that division. So you got Trevor Lawrence, you got just what's his name,
Anthony
C.J. Stroud,
Richardson,
Anthony Richardson, who's basically a
and then
rookie.
yeah, and then
Will
Levis.
Levis. Yeah, so that's really, really young. I mean, anyone could take that division. I mean, you expect the Texans because they got this breakout season, but I don't promise them anything. They could be a fluke. I wouldn't put money on it, that's for sure. Uh, although CJ
Yeah,
Stroud looked very old, he looked very mature. What do you think about this move here? The 49ers picking up Leonard Floyd, and then obviously Chase Young is leaving.
they're just getting depth. He's probably gonna start. He's cheap, and they're just building around the defensive line because they signed him. They signed another defensive tackle yesterday, and they
Yeah,
traded for a defensive tackle today with the Texans.
yeah. Trey Greenlaw, what is his deal? He's going to be out for quite a while, huh?
I would assume he's out for like the first month if I had to guess. And then even when he comes back, he has to get back in playing
Football
shape.
shape.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Who knows if he'll be able to move his lateral because I think his big thing was speed, right?
Well,
Side to side.
he's a linebacker. You know, it's like a receiver or a linebacker. They tear their Achilles.
Yeah.
That's a big injury. It's not like he's a quarterback or a freaking offensive lineman.
Well, you got some of these linebackers who plug holes and stuff like that, but they're not really side to side players. But I think he was predominantly a side to side, sideline to
Yeah,
side kind of player.
side sideline and just power. You know, just an overall good linebacker.
Yeah. Let me ask you about this move. So Josh Jacobs going to Green Bay. What is that about? I mean, do you think that makes them any better because they did get rid of Aaron Jones? So I think this kind of makes them the same, right? Because Josh Jacobs kind of wondering if he's injury prone. Does this make Green Bay better? Would you give that an A plus, a C, or what would you give that?
If he's healthy, he's better than Aaron Jones.
Mm,
So
yeah,
he's
he seems.
because he could carry a team, but he just has to stay healthy.
Well, the Raiders didn't seem to think that. I mean, geez, they are showing him no respect, really. They got this Georgia running back, and they're kind of like, all right, whatever. I
Yeah, well,
don't think
I
they
don't
tried
blame
very
him.
hard. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
because it's tough paying running backs, you know.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But they picked up the Raiders picked up Minshew, and then they picked up what Christian Watkins, what's his name, from the Dolphins.
Wilkins.
Christian Wilkins, yeah, from the Dolphins, and he's a stud, young stud. Match him up with Crosby, obviously, and you got a defensive head coach. Then you got Minshew, who's kind of like a game manager, who is not scared of the bright lights. What do you think about this? Does that look like a positive move? And
So
you got a top 10 pick.
yeah, because the Wilkins one that should be an A deal because
Yeah,
you got Crosby and
yeah,
then you add this guy, so you got two guys in the prime. And then remember last year they drafted that defensive tackle from I think it was A&M with the top 10
yeah,
pick.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
like so
That's
you
right.
have these
And
two are going to
Meyer,
be rolling.
you got Michael Myers.
Yeah, so if you get those two, they're going to be rolling, and then if the defensive tackle if he kind of steps it up, now you got a really good defensive line.
Yeah, yeah. You might have a very strong AFC West minus Denver, but you never know with the head coach. So he might
Yeah,
put something together.
And then Minshew, it's a solid pickup.
Absolutely.
He'll either be the mentor if you guys draft a quarterback, or you have him at least compete for the job.
Yeah, absolutely. So those Las Vegas fans should be happy. What do you think about Brian Burns going to New York and then their Daniel Jones, but you get rid of Saquon Barkley? But they did pick up who did they pick up as a running back? Didn't the Giants pick up someone? Did they pick up Aaron
Uh,
Jones?
I don't know who they picked up. I like that they got the defensive end, but Giants they lost their best player.
I don't
He's
know
like
what they're.
they're gonna be bad next year.
Well, not only did they give up their best player, but they gave up their morale. I mean, if you're a Giants fan, you're Saquon jersey, right? Who's your jersey now?
Yeah.
It's not Daniel Jones.
Oh man, I don't. It's
You're not
yeah. I'm
happy.
not wearing a Daniel Jones jersey.
No, not at all. Unless he does something special, but he would have to do something really good to win you back. That's for sure.
I guess it'd be who, because I'm pretty sure they have like a top 10 pick. I guess whoever gets drafted in the top 10, that's your New Jersey.
This is, yeah, they better pick up someone exciting for these Giants fans because Giants fans are not going to watch these games. Or I
Well,
guess maybe they watch the game. Yeah,
they'll watch it, but that media is going to kill them.
exactly. Not just the media, but the fans that are brutal. Yeah. What do you think about the Bengals? So obviously T. Higgins. What do you give for T. Higgins?
He's a receiver. He's going to want to get paid. Oh man, they probably get like a second round pick because what did Devontae Adams go for, like a two and a two twos?
Yeah, I think so, something like that. But T. Higgins is young. How old was Devontae Adams? He was a little bit older, but I don't know. It just seems like when I think of T. Higgins, I maybe it's just me because everyone I talk to, it says they say, "Oh man, get rid of him. He's garbage." Obviously, Chase is the number one, but they say T. Higgins is not a number one. You don't think he has number one capability?
I think he's like a low end number one.
Hmm, that's
A
brutal.
low end one, a really good number two.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if DJ Moore is a number one, I mean T. Higgins could do just as good, don't you think?
Yeah, T Higgins is better than DJ Moore.
Yeah. So I
Well,
mean,
it's kind of like Terry Mc, what's Scary Terry from the Redskins. There's a whole bunch of number ones, but they're like ah,
yeah,
you know.
that's yeah. What are you gonna do? Okay, there's the guy you were talking about, Danielle Hunter. The Texans picked up. Yeah, 2 years, 49 million. You see that Calvin Ridley got 50 million guaranteed? Is that pretty standard? That seems like a lot to me for a wide receiver of his age.
Yeah, it's a lot for he's 29. He got remember he got like suspended like 2 years because he was gambling. Remember?
Yeah, that. I
So
mean,
so
I just can't imagine that. I'd rather have T. Higgins than Calvin Ridley.
yeah, I'd rather
Calvin
have
Ridley,
T Higgins. Yeah, I'd
I
rather
think
have
it would
T
be
Higgins than
cheaper.
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you think about it, Calvin Ridley, he got 1,000, like I think he got 1,100 yards off 79 receptions, which is really good. But that was on a bad team that had nobody. So, I mean, is that going to translate to wins? I don't think so. I think you're spending more than you actually need to. Uh, I mean, Falcons, they make wide receivers. There's a team that makes wide receivers out of nowhere, right? And then they chew them up and spit them out, and they're never the same. Uh,
Yeah.
what do you think about Kirk Cousins? So let's get to it. Let's get to the question, right? Kirk Cousins, 35 years old, 4 years, $180 million signed to the Atlanta Falcons. What do you think?
Well, freaking Kirk Cousins and his agent should go in the Money Hall of Fame, man. I th-
Yeah.
I saw like I saw one thing where Kirk Cousins, like, he's made as much money, like salary rise, as like LeBron,
Oh my
like
gosh,
close to it, which is like, oh my goodness.
oh gosh, that's disgusting. Yeah, what a waste. Because I
What
mean,
I
I don't think he's been to an NFC championship, has he?
I don't
What?
I think he's probably won like one playoff game, so probably like a divisional round, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Here comes the money.
But
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
here comes Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, man. That's Kirk Cousins all day.
But I guess for the Falcons it makes sense because they haven't had a quarterback since Matt Ryan, and they're kind of getting desperate.
I mean,
And
how desperate are you?
they're $180 million desperate, or whatever it was.
So they were working off like two rookies. So Ritter and what was the other guy? I can't remember. Ritter and
Heineke, I think it was.
yeah,
Is it Heineke? I don't know.
something like two rookies that were going back and forth. So maybe because what I'm thinking is this draft class is so deep in quarterbacks. Just, you just trade up or something. Where are they picking in the draft? Do
They're
you-
probably picking top 10. They weren't that good, but I
no.
guess they're looking at it is in like we'll get a quarterback, we have the running back, we have the receivers, we use the top 10 pick on like a defensive end or an offensive tackle, and like
Yeah,
they could win the division. They were going up against the Saints, which
yeah,
choked last year, the Bucks,
yeah,
which aren't that good, and then the Panthers. I don't know what's going on over there.
yeah. Panthers are done. Tennessee's done. Uh, oh wait, not Tennessee. What'd you say? So it's
The
Panthers, Saints, and who else?
The
What
Saints,
the?
Panthers, and the Falcons. What's the other team?
Oh,
God,
great.
what's the other team?
My
Saints,
brain's
Falcons, Panthers, the Bucks, Tampa.
the. Okay, so the Bucks looking pretty good. I mean, that's scary. So could they win the division? I'm sure. And Baker Mayfield doesn't really strike fear into anyone's heart, but he's a winner, that's for sure. So Kirk Cousins is a loser. So I mean, I don't know what you do. You got to pick up somebody. If you had Drake May, holy smokes! I think you go get Drake May. If you have, I don't know, I wouldn't go as far as Bo Nix, but you sure would get Bo Nix cheap, right? And then might be able to
Yeah,
put money somewhere else. You could pick up a very good quarterback, and Bo Nix is a winner in my opinion.
I, I
Michael
yeah, I think
Michael Penix
yeah,
Jr.
yeah. I think it was the owner. I think he's tired of losing. It's like because didn't he like used to own Home Depot or something?
He still owns Home Depot, I believe,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah,
He's probably like in his 80s. So he always looks super old and mad on the sidelines. It's probably I'm
yeah,
tired of this crap.
yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. But
'Cause I think the last time they made the playoffs was that Super Bowl.
yeah, yeah. Well, let me get your playoff, not your playoff, your top five quarterbacks in order. Hold on, your top five quarterbacks in order right here from the professor.
News, or what?
Oh, that's the most amazing thing I've ever heard.
All right, here we go. The professor's top five quarterbacks that are going in the draft. Go ahead. It's you on you, professor. This is why you're
Oh,
the Scientologist. Who's
okay.
going in order?
So I think one's Caleb. He's gonna go one.
Okay, Caleb.
Two, I think it's gonna be Jaden Daniels.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, go ahead.
And then three, I think the Pats go with Drake May.
Ooh. Okay. All right. Number four.
Uh, I think the Broncos are gonna draft. It's either gonna be Knicks or McCarthy.
Whoa. Dang. At the Broncos. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That
Yeah,
would
so it's gonna. So I think one of those three or four are gonna go, and I think Penix is gonna go. He's gonna be the fifth one or sixth one. It would be sixth one.
the sixth one. So you're saying McCarthy and Bo Nix are gonna go back to back? You think
Or
Penix is gonna be
yeah,
number six?
I think Penix is gonna be six, and then McCarthy and Bo Nix. One's gonna be either four or five. Switch
You
them
know what?
around.
You know what Ace was saying yesterday is that Jaden is overrated because he's a run first quarterback and he got half of his yards running. He's like one look and then he's out. So you don't think that'll be picked up by NFL teams?
Nah, I think they
You-
just look at like they look at the speed and everything, and they probably. I rather I rather have Penix, but people get enticed with it because he's kind of he's really skinny, but
And
he's athletic. Yeah,
yeah,
he's not that big.
he slings the ball beautifully. You know what I mean? It's like not even a question. When he throws that ball, man, he looks like a quarterback. And if you ever watched him in college, he takes 3 looks. He can, he sees off receivers and he's not running in the pocket. You got to think Penix is a better quarterback than Jaden if you watched either of them. Plus the talent that they have at LSU is ridiculous. So I don't know. I think that's a big mistake, but who am I?
Yeah, because I saw a ton of Washington games this and last year. I
Yeah.
always thought he looked pretty good, but I guess they don't like the injuries, and he's not athletic. He's a pure pocket quarterback,
Yeah, yeah,
and
absolutely.
he's kind of skinny too.
Bro, if you could pick up Penix in Atlanta, I would love to see that. That would be such an exciting team. I think he brings, youth, he brings excitement, but that's over. That's not going to happen.
I could see the Raiders drafting Penix in like the second round.
Is he a Raider quarterback? I don't think he's a Raider quarterback. I just can't see
Yeah.
him
Well,
on
Minshew's the
that.
quarterback now.
I know, but Minshew's a different quarterback than Penix for sure. You know, I just don't see them with the type of team where they can really sling it. He does seem like a Al Davis kind of quarterback, but does he seem like a what's his name, Mike Davis or whatever his name is kind of quarterback? I don't think so. So that, in my opinion, I don't see him in silver and black. I see someone more like Justin Fields.
They're Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels. That's what I see, or a Gardner Minshew. But that's just my opinion. So let me ask you real quick. What did you think of? What did you get from the fights this last weekend? UFC 299. Did you were you surprised? Did you expect it? What? I know Ace had a couple things to say about you yesterday on the Dustin fight. So what do you got? What do you think?
So I guess I'll go from main event down.
Yeah,
So the main event was O'Malley versus Vera.
maybe work
What
your way
happened?
up. Maybe work your way up. I want to kind of hear your
Well,
least exciting fight.
well, from where? Because I watched the whole card
Well,
from
anything
top
that
to
you were
bottom.
mainly interested in. It's like only giving your highlights.
Highlights. Well, there was this huge freaking on the prelims. There was a 6'7" Cuban guy who knocked out this dude in
Oh,
17 seconds. I think 18 seconds.
holy smokes! I don't
Just
know how I missed that.
Yeah, it was on the prelims. He had the biggest reach in UFC history. It was like 84 inches.
Holy smokes, that's
Yeah, it was just a
insane.
humongous Cuban dude. That was
What's he?
a quick fight.
185?
They're heavyweight, I think.
Oh, it has to be 6'7". I mean, where are you going to put all that weight, right?
Yeah, another guy. He kind of looked a little chubby, and it looked like a huge mismatch.
Does he look for real? Is it like or just a freak show? I
It's
guess
just a freak show. He probably
there's no.
gasses out in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's how all the heavyweights are. Really, it's like nothing special in the heavyweight division, right?
Yeah.
So going up, what else? What was another thing that stood out to you?
The prelims, everything what I thought was going to happen happened. Kyler Phillips beat Pedro Munoz. Gamrot beat RDA. Macy
Yeah,
Barber beat Caitlin, whatever. And then
yeah,
Curtis Blades beat this Brazilian dude. That's all he does is like try to take you down and do jiu-jitsu. He knocked him out.
yeah, yeah. Who would think that, right? Well, I guess he was
Yeah.
going to be the jiu-jitsu guy. He had to take the Chicago to him, right?
Yeah. Well, even then, Blades is like a wrestler too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, so after Blades, you got
It was
who did you
Jan
got?
versus Song Yadong.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. And what'd you think
Yeah,
about that?
uh that one was a tricky fight because Jan he was really good. He was like the best bantamweight for a while. So he had that illegal knee on freaking Aljo, And then Song
Yeah,
Yadong, he's been fighting. He fights at Uriah Faber's camp. He's been fighting there for like 6, 7 years now.
yeah. I'd like to see
But
him come
yeah,
back.
yeah, Jan won a close fight, but he's still
Real quick.
super good. He can.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's super good, and he'll be back in it unless he's broken. I don't know. We'll find out. But Gilbert, who would you put Jan against next if you had to? He's obviously going to fight up.
Uh, I don't know because you got he's gonna have to wait and see because Marab is probably gonna fight uh what's his name O'Malley. Marlon Vera might fight. Ah, frig, I don't know. It's kind of tricky
Marlon
because
Vera
the UFC.
he might fight Peter
Uh,
Yan. I think that's a
uh,
good fight.
the only problem with the UFC is they usually don't match a loser and a winner together. They usually do
Yeah.
a winner and a loser versus a loser.
Okay, gotcha. So, what do you think about Gilbert Burns after his loss? Is he done? That kid
I
looks
thought he
done.
would. I thought he was done before the fight. He's taken so much damage, and I think his was like 36, 37. But he
Yeah,
he
yeah,
almost won the fight. If he didn't get knocked out, he was gonna win the decision.
yeah. It was at 343 was the knockout. That's insane. So, but it just feels like nobody's excited to see him. It's what is he doing out there? And like you said, he was going to win the fight. But even if he won the fight, I think everybody would be sad because nobody wants to see Gilbert Burns.
Yeah, he's just been fighting forever, dude. He's been competing forever.
So, Kevin Holland MVP. What's your take, real quick? Let's
I
go through
thought
this.
Kevin Holland was gonna beat MVP because MVP is kind of like a poor man's Wonder Boy,
Yeah.
but
But
MVP just out. He just out. It looked like Kevin Holland didn't want to be there and just he didn't know what to do.
well, his emotions are always all over the place, so you never know what to
Yeah,
expect with Kevin Holland. Okay, Poirier and Benoit.
I thought Dustin was gonna be done.
Well, yeah, you had a big, uh, big. You had your target on Dustin. You're like ready to retire him. So, I mean, what do you think? Is he back in your eyesight? Is he going up the ladder? Obviously, he's going up the ladder. Does he get a title shot with this win?
He might get a title shot because Gaethje fights Holloway, so that kind of screws everything up.
Yeah,
And Charles he fights on the next card, so he's not going to be fighting. And Islam, he's probably going to fight in like June, so I don't think anyone's going to be ready by June. And Dustin,
yeah.
he didn't take too much damage because he was
No,
out striking
he
Benoit pretty easy. He almost choked it away with all those guillotine attempts.
even with those guillotine attacks, he looked like a young man that is just like doing whatever he wants with them. And, even if he's unsuccessful, he's not really worried because he's full of youth. And he was the older man. It don't make any sense. But,
Yeah,
yeah,
he pieced them up.
absolutely. Yeah. And he could have knocked him out if he just chose to stand up. But he was like, I don't know what he was doing. You can't fight that fight with anyone else. That's for sure. You got to change it up. But he looked young, youthful, and he looked really good. But Sean O'Malley versus Vera, it's pretty much what you expected. I don't think there's anything that you surprised you in this fight, right?
No, Lamar Rivera shouldn't have fought for the belt. He only fought for the belt because he kicked O'Malley last time, and then O'Malley's leg died on him.
Yeah, and his leg died in him this fight too. If you saw him walking off, he looked like he put
Yeah,
on those. Whoo, yeah, something about playing. Well, Marlon Vera is tough. He is tough,
yeah, he's a
obvious.
tough guy.
Yeah, he's gonna make you. If you win, obviously you're gonna beat Marlon Vera if you're good, but you're gonna take a beating. You're gonna pay for it. It's kind of like fighting Cowboy or fighting, someone of that caliber that just like goes like Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland's just gonna say sit in the middle of the ring and just make you pay for it, but you're gonna win if you bring it. So I don't know. So let's finish it off. We got like another 10 minutes. I just wanna go over NBA real quick because you're well versed in NBA. But we got in the power rankings. Obviously, Boston is 51-14 and leading the whole NBA. But Denver just passed them in the power rankings. What do you think about this?
Ah, I like thought. Well, Denver just beat Boston. What was it? A couple earlier this week or last week, right?
Yeah, I
They beat
think
them.
so. Yeah, yeah. And then
Um,
you think
what?
that's
What?
legit? You think that's a good reason to put them over them in the power rankings, even though their record is way different? You got 45-51. They got over 6 wins, Boston.
I think it's fair because even then they come into the finals. Denver's. They won the championship last year. They got that championship mindset.
But they're not even in the top in their division or their conference. It's kind of like, how can you put them? Because power rankings really don't mean anything, to be honest, right?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking long term. It's kind of like back in like the Warriors or the Heat. They were just like, we just got to get in. Once we get in, it's on.
Absolutely. And the odds for Denver to win the championship are plus 400, plus 425. I'm thinking about dropping a couple bucks on Denver to win the championship. I don't see why not, right?
What are they? The second best odds? Is the Celtics number one?
Yeah, I think they're the second or the third. I think Milwaukee might be second, third up in there. So, and then the Clippers, I think, are like four. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. But OKC and Minnesota are getting no respect. And forget Minnesota. Minnesota's got their odds way out there, obviously, with the cat
The cat
injury.
injury.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the Clippers? Kawhi is back today.
Well, the Clippers they got all those veterans, dude. The they got all the playoff experience.
Yeah.
So they would scare me. The OKC they might win a round. Maybe I could see a max they're getting to the conference finals. It's just
Yeah.
basketball. You need a couple playoff series in you before you actually get far.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's very unusual in basketball, and I think that I was thinking about it today how Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs got in, and it's like, oh, let's just get in. But in football, it's one game. You just have to play good for one game. So you just sneak into the playoffs, play good for one game. I could beat you in one game, Patrick Mahomes. But some team like the Clippers, where you're old, 7-game series might weigh on you, don't you think?
The Clippers, yeah, that's what they got to be. They got to rest their guys and be careful. Teams, the old teams like the Clippers, the Warriors, the
Yeah,
Lakers.
yeah.
They got to pace themselves.
Speaking of that, the Golden State Warriors at 34-30 have the 10th spot, and they're 4 games ahead of number 11. I think they get in, right?
Oh well, the 1 through 10 it's already decided. It's just who plays what's the seeding is.
Not really. Houston is 30 games. They're only 4 games behind. It's about 16 games left in the season. I mean, that could change
They're
easily.
they're not making up 4.5 games and 18 games.
It's possible because Steph Curry is injured. He might be back Saturday against the Lakers, but he's injured right now. Now, Chris Paul is back. Maybe it's the injury's not that bad and they're just letting Curry sit for a little bit. I could see that, but they got to win games. They're getting to
Yeah.
that point. Uh, what do you think about Sacramento? Do you think Sacramento is legit? Are they going to go further
Oh,
this playoff?
well, last year they lost in the first round. What seed are they?
They're number 7 right now.
Seven. So they would have to get them to play in, and then
Yeah.
first round they would play either
Whew.
Denver or OKC.
Yeah. I mean,
They might be.
they're only 1 game, 2 games out of like 5 and 6, and you got the Pelicans at 5, sitting at 39 wins, so 2 wins above them. So that let me see. Yeah, so pretty much 9 through 5 are interchangeable at this point. So
Well, even
it's
1 through 3 is interchangeable too.
yeah, 1 through 3, no one's worried about. They're staying in 1 through 3, and they're going to fight it. And it's crazy because they're all in the same division, so that's kind of interesting. That's home court advantage for you. Can't give that away because that's your division. But what does the division winner get, anyways? Is that important at all? They're all
I
going to
think
make
they
it.
just you get a free T-shirt and a shirt that says division winner. And
Yeah,
I don't. Do they do banners for division winning championships?
probably. Yeah, I don't know if that. Yeah, that means anything right now. But they're killing each other right now. In what is it? The Atlantic Division? I don't even know what it is. The Midwest. I don't know how that works in basketball. I mean, I know how it works, but I just don't know them by heart like I do NFL.
Yeah,
But
well, it's the Pacific, it's the Southwest. I
yeah,
guess it would be the Northwest.
okay, fine. I don't really care. It doesn't really matter there
Yeah,
because
yeah, it does now.
divisions could mean nothing. But that's crazy that they're both three at the top at 45 wins, beating up each other and also on top. You would think that's not possible, statistically with your games. They must be just destroying other divisions. I don't
Well,
know.
let's see. Well, they play Utah and Portland, and I know so they're beating up on the Utah and Portland a lot.
Yeah, that sucks. Sucks for them. Yeah, Portland
Yeah,
is terrible.
yeah, because the Pacific, every team right now is at least in a play-in.
Exactly. Yeah. So the Pacific is getting beat down too with
Yeah,
those young. Those are some young teams. Even Denver is young, right? I mean, Joker's
yeah,
not that.
yeah. Well, Aaron Gordon, he's been there for a while. Jamal Murray, oh,
Yeah.
they're not too young, but
Well, when
yeah,
it
they're
comes
they're
to teams,
they're young.
yeah.
They're young enough where they still have experience.
Well, like I said at the beginning of the year, the Pacific Division has you know, like 13, 14 Hall of Famers. They're old. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
that's the old man division.
they're all walking around and like, hey man, you guys take it easy on us to this day, and we'll take it easy on you when we come over to your place. It's like grandpa division. But anyways, let's go through the East real quick. Did you see that finish between Milwaukee and the Lakers? I think it was yesterday. Oh man, I don't know if you saw it, but Damian Lillard had the game winner, and he got blocked by Spencer Dinwiddie. But D'Angelo Russell went off with the last 8 points and a total of 40 points to win the game. So he pretty much owned Milwaukee that day. And Lillard was he was the cone basically that D'Angelo was dealing with. So I don't know what you're going to do with Milwaukee. I don't know if they're going to bust in the postseason or what.
Well, it's between them and the Celtics basically because the 76ers is Embiid going to come back? Cleveland, I don't really respect Cleveland. The Knicks, are they going to beat?
Yeah.
It's a very top heavy conference.
Yeah, tippy top heavy. I mean, Cleveland is legit, but I'm not going to put money on them. New York, they have all the pieces, but they're just New York. Orlando, throw them
Yeah.
away. Indiana, that's like 2-3 years. Yeah, there's really nothing you could do here. I've been saying all year that I really like Atlanta, and could they turn it on? I could see them beating like a Milwaukee if they can get out of the 10th spot.
I guess the sleep horse, which I guess wouldn't be a sleep horse, but just because where they're in the standings would beat Miami.
Yeah, that's true. Don't they do it every year? I mean, we're basically
Yeah.
doing what we do every year is forget about Miami. So they're maybe like kind of like a team like you were just saying, let's just get in, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely they have all the pieces. I think they're healthy. I don't know of any injuries. And they got a good coach. They got a good organization. I don't see why. Yeah, you bring up a good point. They got a better franchise than they do Atlanta, you know? So if there's any sleeper, I would suppose you could get very good money for Miami. I'll have to check out their roster and see if anybody's injured. But yeah, that's about it, man. Crazy. So we'll have to come back and see when there's some more moves in the NFL because that doesn't look like stopping. When does the draft? The 1 week, 2 weeks?
No, it's like at the end of April, dude. So it's like a whole month.
Well, I'm going to start doing my research on March Madness because obviously we're going to Reno for March Madness and we'll have to do a cast from there. But yeah, that'll be pretty sweet. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking Gonzaga. Oh, there's a game today. It's Kansas in the Big 12, Kansas against Cincinnati. And Kansas is the number 16 team in the nation. And Cincinnati is unranked. And it's +3 Kansas. I don't get it. And it's in Kansas. Well, Kansas City, which is Missouri, but, close enough.
Gonzaga lost to St. Mary's yesterday in their championship game.
Yeah, so Gonzaga's ranked number 26 right now. So we will see if the Zags. I'm gonna drop a couple bucks on the Zags, but I expect them to get out of the first round at least, no matter where they are. So
yeah, they'll be like a 5 or 6 seed.
Exactly, they're probably gonna be further down. They freaking suck, man. They suck even more in March Madness. So but one of these years the Zags have to win a championship, and I want to be there. I'm going to be on that bandwagon because that's what they do. They play basketball. I don't get it. So how many NBA players have they produced? It's ridiculous. No Hall of Famers, really. Actually, where did John Stockton go?
I think his kid went to Gonzaga, but I don't think he went to Gonzaga.
Oh, well, who's there?
Or I could be wrong.
Yeah, you're probably wrong because you don't know anything. But where's their best player? Who's their best player ever?
Ever, freak. Oh, man, I don't know.
Hachi Murray? Maybe Hachi Murray?
I know Jalen Suggs went there, but he hasn't really done anything.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
Drew Timme? Or didn't Kelly Olynyk go there?
Yeah, and he just got traded. Jeez, I don't know who their best player. It has to be someone further back, when they were really good in those top 10 teams.
It could be John Stockton because I do remember always seeing him at Gonzaga games. I just don't remember if he was going there as a alumni or because his son played there.
I feel like he went to Gonzaga, but I can't really remember. And if he did, they weren't good at that time, I don't think. So
just before my time, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, geez, we barely caught the end of his career. So, all right, man. Any last words? Anything you're looking forward to seeing? What do you got to say?
Well, it's conference tournament time, so on Sunday we'll see what the brackets are.
I'm excited to see this, and then we could start getting our money out. But I'm gonna have to start keeping track of this. We're gonna have a college basketball recap show just to tell us who's good and who's not good, who's legit. Do you think you could figure that out?
Somewhat.
Well, what are we paying you for, Professor?
Hey, it's a one-game tournament.
Let's go. Well, you better give us some knowledge. You better break down some knowledge. Tell us where to bring us that money. Until next time, my friend. All right. Peace.
Peace.
Remember, hit that subscribe button.